No traffic, no guards, no travelers. This border crossing has not been used in years. And yet, standing here, it does not feel empty. It feels tense. There is a weight to the air that is difficult to explain at first. Something pressing down on the space around you. Something that doesn't belong to abandonment in the way you might expect. Most empty places feel released from whatever they once held. This one does not. Something keeps it charged, keeps it stubbornly present, even now. Borders are not just lines on a map. They are places of control, permission, and decision. This crossing once processed thousands of people every single day. Cars stopped, documents were checked, questions were carefully asked and answered. A steady rhythm of authority played out here, hour after hour, day after day, until one day it simply stopped. No announcement, no ceremony, just silence. And strangely, that silence feels different from the silence of other abandoned places. Other places feel forgotten over time. This one feels paused. It feels like something interrupted, not something finished. This place was never meant for comfort. It was not designed to welcome you. It was designed to interrupt movement, to slow you down, to hold you in place long enough for someone with authority to decide whether you were allowed to continue moving forward. That purpose is not something a building forgets easily. Even now, with no one present, the structure still remembers what it was built to do. You can feel that memory embedded in the layout, in every deliberate angle and surface around you. Every element here served a specific function. The barriers were positioned to stop vehicles before they could pass unchecked. The booths were placed to give officers a controlled vantage point. The lines were drawn to organize people into manageable queues where they could be observed, assessed, and processed one by one. None of this was accidental. Every surface was chosen with a purpose in mind. Unlike homes, which invite you in, or hotels, which try to make you comfortable, border crossings do not extend that kind of welcome. They hold you in place. Even now, with no one around to enforce anything, the structure still communicates the same message it always did. Stop here. Wait. Do not move until you are told you may. Your body understands this faster than your mind does. The moment you enter a space like this, something shifts. Your posture changes. Your pace slows. You find yourself looking around for someone who is not there. Places built around authority and routine leave a particular imprint on the people who move through them. And that imprint does not vanish simply because the people in charge are gone. The routine itself becomes embedded in the space. When you arrive and find that routine absent, your brain notices immediately. It registers the gap between what it expects and what it finds. That gap is what creates the tension you feel. This is a form of cognitive dissonance. Your eyes scan a system clearly designed for enforcement. Gates, barriers, checkpoints, inspection lanes. Every visual cue tells you that this is a place where rules are applied and respected. But there is no one applying them. The rules feel present, but inactive, hovering somewhere between enforcement and memory. That uncertainty is unsettling not because something dangerous is happening, but because something that should be happening simply is not. The absence itself becomes the source of unease. And the strongest part of that feeling does not come from the large structures. It does not come from the gates or the barriers or the fencing along the perimeter. It comes from the small details. A chair slightly angled away from a desk, as though the officer who sat there just stepped out for a moment and has not yet returned. A rubber stamp resting on a counter, still in position, waiting to be pressed into an ink pad that dried out years ago. A timetable pinned to the wall, listing schedules for crossings that no longer happen. These objects do not just suggest the past, They insist on it. They remind you that this place once carried real authority, that decisions made within these walls had genuine consequences for real people. People stood here making choices that changed lives. Who was allowed to pass? Who was turned back? Who was questioned further? Who was let through without a second glance? The weight of those decisions accumulated over years, layered into the walls and the floors and the countertops until the place itself seemed to carry the memory of them. Now the people are gone, but the decisions feel suspended in the air, lying unfinished, like sentences cut short before they could reach their natural conclusions. Most abandoned places fade quietly. The absence of people softens them. A house left empty eventually starts to feel like it belongs to the landscape around it. A hotel falls into a kind of stillness that almost resembles rest. Borders do not fade that way. They resist it. Because what a border represents is not just physical, it is conceptual. Control, separation, permission. These are abstract ideas, but they leave concrete marks. Even without guards, even without the machinery of enforcement running, the structure still carries meaning. Your mind treats it as active, not because it is, but because it once was. And because the category it belongs to, places of authority, is one your brain does not easily reassign. Places that once mattered deeply do not become neutral overnight. The meaning they carried does not drain away with the people who administered it. This crossing is no longer in use. No one is watching. No one is stopping you. You could walk through without hesitation, and nothing would happen. And yet, something makes you hesitate. A pause you did not plan for. A moment of uncertainty at the threshold. Because places built to control movement leave traces that outlast the people who worked there. They leave something in the space itself, a residue of authority, a memory of consequence that your nervous system picks up on before your conscious mind has had a chance to reason through it all. That hesitation is worth paying attention to. It tells you something about the relationship between physical spaces and the social structures they were built to serve. A border crossing does not simply house the activity of border control. It becomes it. The architecture participates in the authority. The layout enforces the hierarchy. The design communicates who is in charge and who must wait. The building is empty. The officials are gone. The purpose has long since expired. But something remains. Something that makes the air feel different here than it does anywhere else. Something that reminds you, without a single word being spoken, that you are standing in a place that was once very serious about what it was. What do you find more unsettling? Places designed for comfort that are now empty, or places designed for control that have fallen completely silent?